I'm the Hood Trucker, and this is the Hood Trucker News. First, let me just say, uh, as I was sitting here eating my Smart and Final rotisserie chicken, which was good as hell, excuse me, on a Sunday afternoon, took a little break. It's hot over here, but I'm not only fasting, but doing a little, sweat therapy, get all this excess water out of my body. So we're doing a little sweat. But as I was eating my rotisserie chicken, and before I talk about that, look at my hair. Yeah, I'm just unprepared. But by the way, go check out the description. Shoot, I didn't do it beforehand. But check out the description. Hit the join button down below and become a member. We shooting member-only content out on a consistent basis, usually on the daily. So to get the updates and all of that. So support the channel, please. Hit the like button also, and hit the subscribe button also. But as I was sitting here eating my First Street Jumbo rotisserie chicken, what ran across my feed was, I call him a loser because I thought he never had a chance in the first place, and the only reason why he was Florida governor was because of Donald Trump. He was a Donald Trump wannabe, sycophant, the whole thing. Even showed him, had made a commercial reading The Art of the Deal to his child. He dropped out of the race today. Good riddance. Get up out of here, because listen, you're wasting time anyway. You're weird and goofy, and word around town is you wear, like I saw a Seinfeld episode one time where the guy, one of the little people on the show, got in trouble for heightening. The rumor goes around, and streets would have it that Ron DeSantis wears lift in his shoes, wear high heels. Why you do that, I don't know, but one of those podcasts, DFBP or whatever it is, PB something, tried to give him shoes on the air, and he said, I can't take those. You can't even put them on. Okay. That's because you wear lifts and you don't want anybody to see. He's weird, awkward, makes funny faces, all of that. Now, I'm not going to vote for any Republican, but you might as well just go and get out the way, because, look, you didn't have the balls to say anything derogatory, whether true or not, against Donald Trump. You look like a weenie for doing so. Also said that you would pardon Donald Trump, irregardless of whether a jury finds him guilty. You're going to pardon him, whether it be preemptive or post verdict. The fact that you would even say that, you're not good for the country. You're just going to haphazardly say yes, and we all know why. We know that the MAGA group, cult, whatever you want to call it, is massive and powerful in terms of how they react to people who don't or not on board with Donald Trump. We look at Chris Christie. Chris Christie was probably the most truthful, and if I ever would vote for a Republican, it would probably be him, but I probably never will. I mean, he was the one coming out and saying it. More recently, Nikki Haley, who is a weirdo in her own right, said that the country, we've never been a racist country. And what else did she say? Pick a topic, but she, she's having trouble talking about him. But here lately, she's come out and said all of his commercials were lies, or something to that effect. And she said that we have to look at his cognitive abilities because I believe it was yesterday in a speech, Donald Trump mistakenly said that Nikki Haley was in office on January 6th and that he provided her with or was going to give her 10,000 troops. And she said no. Donald Trump is going crazy because Nikki Haley wasn't even in office. He was more likely talking about Nancy Pelosi. Said Nikki Haley's name about 15 times in that speech. Mistakenly, because she wasn't in office. You didn't give her no 10,000 troops. You're talking about Nancy Pelosi. So, listen, there's no, in the Republican Party, even if I was a Republican, I wouldn't even vote because, I mean, look who the last three choices was. You had Tim Scott on there talking the same thing, nonsense about how, United States is not a racist country, stuff like that. And that, look at me, I made it, and therefore it's not racist. Get out of here. The fact that either Nikki Haley, who says I was a brown girl and was the first this and was the first that in office, first governor or whatever, minority governor, the fact that you have to mention that says that it's a racist country. Because why is that even a thing? If it's not a racist country, then minority people should hold office already. Why, in here recent years, you want to say I was the first this or I was the first that? And you're going to say it's not a racist country. Okay. Nobody believes you other than the people that don't want to believe you. I mean, because there are people out here running around here, sticking their head in the sand because they don't want to know the truth. Believe me. I was just talking to one in my personal life, and they want to stick their head in the sand. Go ahead. But whatever you tell yourself, first of all, doesn't make it true. You just satisfy your own weirdness and say it never happened. They're calling the January 6th people that's in jail right now hostages. Now, these are people that are running for their lives in there, don't know what's going to happen. GOP and the Democrats alike was running around there. As soon as they come to their senses and everything blowed over, the Republicans came in and were talking that the speaker of the Senate the Senate leader Mitch McConnell condemned Donald Trump, and he said, hey, he's going to have to face his crimes or whatever. He's not going to be in office or any of that, so he's going to have to face those crimes. We just heard Sean Hannity. I just heard a clip the other day, but he said it a while ago where he said he didn't believe that the election was stolen at all. But you have to give people enough credit to understand that this is not news, it's commentary. So a lot of people don't know that Fox News is really not news because you put a label on it, it's really not news, right? So they all know that wasn't the case. They had to pay was it $700 something million for lying. And when you interview the Fox hosts by themselves, they admit, hey, we never believed it. We never believed it either. So, but hey, this is an entertainment show. It's not a news show, and people should be able to determine that. They know that that's not even true, but they have to say that. They could say they're not going to say it on air. They'll say it in a deposition or something, but they're not going to say it on air. And if you're saying stuff behind closed doors that you wouldn't say in public, he's a coward. So and then you have an agenda. So just like there are tons of people that don't like Donald Trump in the Republican Party and would absolutely love to see him not elected. But are they speaking up? No. Why? Because of MAGA. Because they don't want to lose their seat. They're scared. That's why Nikki Haley just recently said he's a liar. Everybody knows he's a liar. And that he has cognitive stuff going on because you said Nikki Haley 15 times, you're really talking about Nancy Pelosi. And then all the other lies. It's a witch hunt. It's this, it's that. Meanwhile, how do you explain the grand jury? Grand jury is made up of regular people. Grand jury indicted him several times. They found him guilty of the SA on E.G. and Carroll. Guilty. They're just not, and then they're coming back again because he defamed her by saying, X, Y, Z, whatever. He'll have to pay her again. He's in New York. He's in New York court for trumping up these documents, and so he can get loans and stuff. So he's going to have to pay. They've already found him guilty in that. He's going to have to pay. Now, all this election interference and all that with Joe Biden, all that, you guys are weirdos if you think that. I mean, how do you explain grand juries? How do you explain 60-something cases in federal court that said, get that mess out of here because we don't believe it, but you're still running around talking about the election was stolen? How do you explain the 60-something judges that Donald Trump, most of which Donald Trump appointed, that disagreed that the election was stolen? Bill Barr said he doesn't believe it. All kinds of people that are not in office right now tell the truth. If you're in office, you got to take whatever they say with a grain of sand because they're worried about their own seats. They're only worried about their own jobs. The only people you should believe are the people that's getting out of office or out of office. Bill Barr is not in office. He says he was still voting for Donald Trump, but he also says that he doesn't believe that the election was stolen. Now, if you follow that, you're a lunatic. If you follow behind that, you're a lunatic. You might as well go follow Mother God. That's on the show app. Max, right? You might as well go follow Mother God. You might as well, just get thumbs up, right? You might as well go follow Jim Jones or David Koresh or all of these people because it's a cult and you're brainwashed. And look, nobody's going to say it, but the hood truck going to tell you. You're brainwashed. You're delusional. You're sticking your head in sand because most of the stuff that you are questioned about, you can't explain. You need to look, do your own research and stuff, all this other stuff. You can find whatever you want online. You can find whatever you want online. Sometimes you got to use common sense. You really think that in the first time in history, Joe Biden's going to go up there and do election interference and do all this other kind of stuff, and nobody is going to say anything? So at no point is a Republican going to come into office and then go back and look at all that? You really believe that? Obama's really running the country? Wait, Trump is really running the country? Wait a minute. Joe Biden is not running the country. He's just in office. It's not really Joe Biden. It's really Obama in a Biden suit. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. And y'all believe that goofy stuff. It's insane. It's insane. And look, the politicians don't believe it, but they know that you do. And that's why Ron DeSantis, the sanctimonious, or whatever you want to call him, that's why he tiptoed about saying anything about Trump. Listen, if you have any type of intelligence whatsoever, you know that's not the case. Well, you know that he's a liar. He sat there and told you he grabbed women by the coochie. And you want to put him in. You want to put him in. They're saying that even if he gets found guilty of a felony, they'll still vote for him. They have people who, if Donald Trump is disqualified, who gets in there, if Donald Trump is found guilty, they will pardon him. You know what Nikki Haley's excuse was for pardoning him? Is that if we don't need an 80-year-old ex-president sitting in jail because that would divide the country. What? So what you're saying is that presidents, he even said himself, Donald Trump said that presidents should have absolute immunity even if they cross the line. Meaning you can do whatever you want, meaning you're basically a dictator. No. If you say that nobody's above the law, why are you saying that you would pardon him? You're making him above the law. You are complicit in making him above the law. Because now he's not going to be worried about whether or not he, like he said, he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. He absolutely could, especially if you got these weirdos who if they get in office, they're going to pardon him. You're making him above the law. Is that American to say, okay, this guy can do whatever he wants, but that guy can't? Bernie Madoff was close to 80 years old. All he did was steal people money. He's under the jail. You got people, it's old people all the time, get sentenced to all kinds of stuff. But yet, you don't want him in the thing in prison because it's going to divide the country. That doesn't make any sense. That's just an excuse because you know that the MAGA people will believe it. And you know that there is no other explanation for it. That you're doing it to garner favor from the MAGA people in case one of two things happen. One, he gets disqualified. Or two, he picks you for his vice president. Don't think that Tim Scott, Ron DeSantis, with Tim Scott or Ron DeSantis, they've already endorsed Trump. Don't think that because they endorse Trump, they really like Trump. They're trying to get a position in the cabinet. Politics is a bunch of weirdos. Politicians are weirdos and spineless and out for power. That's why you would go against all your principles and say Donald Trump is cool. I like him. I vote. Even though he said on a hot mic, I grab women by the coochie, even though he's been found guilty and responsible for the E. Jean Carroll thing after all these years, he still claims I didn't touch her, this, that, another. But a jury found him guilty, had to pay. Then he talking crazy. He had to go back and pay again. Now he's in New York with that whole fiasco with falsifying paperwork and all of that. He's got the other paperwork that he had at Mar-a-Lago, what he shouldn't supposed to have. That's why he raided it. The FBI raided the whole thing. And then you got the thing in Georgia where he's on the phone talking about, I just need to find some votes. Help me find some votes. They got another one, I think, in Pennsylvania. You on the phone talking about help me find some votes. Come on, man. And you talking about pardoning him? Because it's going to divide the country. No, it ain't. No, it's not. What it's going to do is it's going to upset the MAGA, which you need to get elected. And therefore, if you say I will pardon him, that should garner favor with MAGA. And therefore, if Trump goes away, by default, they come over to you because you didn't say nothing bad. That's exactly why you can't say nothing bad. You can say whatever. Common sense. How about using some common sense? Has nothing to do with nothing other than power and favor and pandering. So y'all some weirdos if you believe that. Ron DeSantis, get your ass out of here. Get up out of here. You didn't need to be there anyway. Get it, you know what I'm saying? Like the closer we get to the thing, they're going to New Hampshire. The only chance that Nikki Haley had to do anything in New Hampshire is that next? Yeah, New Hampshire's next. The only viable chance she has is if Ron DeSantis jumps out and DeSantis people switch over to Nikki Haley. Now, will that happen? Who knows? But usually, when I talk to people who are Republicans, and I have a couple of friends, right? I call them weirdos all the time. But listen, I don't hold anything against you if you're goofy political affiliations or feelings about it, whatever. I'm gonna talk crazy about you, whatever. I don't care if you got goofy shoes on. I'm gonna talk about your shoes. But anyway, I say all the time, and people tell me like, we don't really like Trump. DeSantis is about as close to Trump as you're gonna get, and Nikki Haley, we don't know enough about her, right? But if I tell them, I said, if it's a thing between Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump's going to wipe the floor with Ron DeSantis. I think Nikki Haley will put up a better fight than Ron DeSantis because Ron DeSantis is Trump light. I mean, he said he endorsed him. He said he was a good president and all that. Just like Vivek Ramaswamy. Why he get out the race? He had no chance. But all these dudes, all these people that were in the primary, they're vying for a spot in the cabinet now. They've always have been. They might have had a chance. They might have thought they had a chance. They might have even, legitimately had a chance. Probably not, but you got two choices. Get in the race. Hope you have a chance. If the numbers don't move, audition for a cabinet position. That's it. And that's what they're doing right now. That's what Nikki Haley's doing because she's tiptoeing over, she might feel like she got a chance now. The better the chance of beating Trump, the more they're going to speak out. I guarantee it. Right? So if she happens to win New Hampshire and the DeSantis people move over, is that going to be enough? Who knows? Other thing is, a lot of times people vote because they don't want to waste their vote. Nobody really cared about Obama until he won the Iowa caucus. They was like, oh, he can win where the white people is? Okay, well, we can jump on board. Then he started wiping the floor with her, right? There was a couple contests, and then she, some dirty stuff going on. She said some kind of Hillary Clinton I'm talking about. She said some kind of racist stuff, right, too. But it wasn't until he won the Iowa caucus and people realized that he was going to be okay in front of white people. That's when they jumped on. So I think the same thing's going to happen with Nikki Haley. If Nikki Haley can make a good showing and God forbid she wins. If she wins, Trump's in trouble. Trump's going to be in trouble if she wins. Because now I was like, oh, she might be able to do something here. And then go to South Carolina. Oh, they're already gearing up for South Carolina because that's where she's from. They don't want her to win there anyway. They don't want her to get no traction. That's why who knows what they offered Ron DeSantis. They probably offered him a thing like get out of the race because, there's some underhanded stuff going on behind closed doors. Same thing that happened with Obama and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, because miraculously Joe Biden pulled off South Carolina. They didn't want Bernie Sanders in there. Absolutely not. But if Nikki Haley was to pull off a win here, fasten your seatbelts because you never know. Listen, if she stays in the thing long enough to where some of these Supreme Court rulings are coming through with the election stuff, where they're deciding whether or not the states or the federal can determine if he's on the ballot or not. Never know. It's still up in the air. And guess what? All these dudes have dropped out. If Nikki Haley is still standing, something like that happens. He loses enough ballots because every state's not going to do it. But if he loses enough, if he's not on the ballot enough, he's already not on the ballot in Nevada, I believe. And it wasn't because they kicked him off. It's because he didn't file the right paperwork. So I'm eating popcorn and jumbo oven roasted rotisserie chicken while I wait on the decision. So with that, we're gonna get up out of here. Appreciate you stopping by. Again, hit the like button, hit the description, become a member, support the channel. Peace out. It's the Hood Trucker News. I don't even know how that happened, but there's something going on. Awesome. I didn't know you could do that. Take care. We'll see you another time. Till next time. Now.